All right, we are green. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors. This is the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also what's going on in our country and how we're going to fix that one together. Because, guys, they are completely linked. Now, a lot of the things that we've been talking about over the last several years together have all led us to this point. And what I'm about to show you is kind of a culmination on our opponent's realization of they're losing. What I'm about to show you is Van Jones. Now, this is a CNN pundit. This is a talking head. This is someone who is firmly on the left. He just admitted and completely submitted defeat. But he says to Donald Trump, I'm going to walk you through a few things. I think that this is going to resonate with a lot of you guys, and it's going to show you something that they haven't quite figured out yet. Even though they are losing, and they know that, they don't fully understand it yet, and we're about to educate them right now. Of course, make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoy this message, if you want to make sure you get this everywhere. Subscribe to the channel and turn that notification bell on because we are passing freedom from coast to coast and border to border, and thank you in advance for that consideration. All right, people, looks like our audio is good, our video is good. Excellent. Let's dive in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful preparatory time right before a Merry Christmas. That's right, I said it, Merry Christmas. We're going to dive into something here, and just bear with me, because a lot of what we're about to address is going to probably connect with a bunch of you, but on different levels. For example, if you're about my age, mid-30s, up into 60, 70, up, upper echelon, you're going to resonate with this message most likely around the cancellation pressure, the attacks on us, attacks on our culture, attacks on our gun rights, attacks on our freedom of speech, called every name in the book, being bullied into submission, or at least attempted to being bullied into submission to give up our rights and basically give in to the leftist pressure narrative and pressure campaigns. Now, of course, we didn't. That's why we're still winning. Bruin decision, Second Amendment, let's go, baby. Cargill decision. We can do it all day. 29 states are now constitutional carry. Let's keep going. But the newer generation, the ones that are about 18 to 29, you guys are doing the turning. You guys are the next generation that's turning away from this. You've seen what's happened to your parents, your older brothers, your uncles, and you are now moving in a different direction. That's what we're about to address. Van Jones thinks it's Donald Trump. It's not. As we go into this, Donald Trump is a vestige. Not a vestige, that's not the right word. He is a personification of the frustration against that very leftist narrative. That's the important piece. Donald Trump is the right person for the right time. He is the right mold or right key for that lock. But what we're about to see is him thinking something completely wrong. All right, now you guys are getting in here. We are cranking on all cylinders. Let's get it. Let me show you what I got for you.
How the hell did Donald Trump figure out the mainstream media is the fringe and the fringe is now the mainstream? How the hell did Donald Trump figure out? I mean, Joe Rogan is obvious, right? Like, we knew the guy had a big audience. It's not like we were like stunned, but like.
Okay, so I got to reload this so you got to see the actual video. That's Chris Cillizza. Now that's important because Chris Cillizza is the guy who I just showed you in yesterday's video, who was saying that he completely and totally hid the fact that Biden was an empty suit and completely short-circuited upstairs. I mean, like, that's the CNN guy. That's who's talking about. How can we figure out how? Yeah, that guy. All right. Let's continue though, right where we picked up.
Like, how the hell was he, the 78-year-old guy who doesn't even have a computer and still like writes handwritten notes? How did he become the guy who cracked the code on, to your point, running a cultural? I don't even want to say campaign. Running
it was a movement.
Heading a cultural movement versus a campaign.
All right. This is really important, guys. And again, look at this through the lens of your Second Amendment rights and the fight we've been doing for 4 years, 10 years, 20 years together. Look at the fights for the First Amendment rights. All of these things that they've been attacking, what is and what isn't a specific, let's just say, gender. Let's throw that out there. Trump did not come in the door and start a movement. What Trump did was walk into the room and go, this is insane, and he capitalized on the fact that everyone felt this way. That's the point. You needed someone to fill in and fill that basically the leadership spot of a movement that was already happening. What we are witnessing is not Trump coming in and making a movement and defeating these people versus a campaign, as Chris Cillizza is saying. What you're watching is a personification of the frustration and the irritation of the population over decades. That's what we're looking at. All right, let's keep going because Van Jones completely admits defeat right here.
every one of your people knows Elon. Listen.
Yeah.
So everybody keeps, the problem is you have a framework in your mind that, how can Donald Trump? Guys, can we cut it out? Donald Trump is not an idiot. Donald Trump, let me just be very clear. Donald Trump is smarter than me, you, and all critics. You know how I know? Because he has the White House, the Senate, the House.
Totally agree.
Court, the popular vote. He has a massive media ecosystem bigger than the mainstream built around him and for him, and a religious...
Okay, that's really important, because you could argue that this channel is built around that exact same ecosystem. The ecosystem was built before Donald Trump, a little bit after Donald Trump. The ecosystem was built off of the demand of the population. That's what I'm telling you from prior in the intro, in the little monologue portion of this video. The idea that Trump came in and started something from scratch is not accurate. I'm not taking anything away from the man. He went through hell for what he's done so far, and I'm sure he's got some more BS to deal with. However, the population was already demanding it. That ecosystem and that mainstream media alternative, because they had squandered the truth and squandered your trust, had already been built. That's the point. Social media did that for them. But now they see Donald Trump and say he's the smartest individual alive. This is why they're winning all their gun rights fights. This is why they're winning all their gun court cases. This is why the Supreme Court's kicking our butts in gun control. No. The reason is the population has completely left you in the dust, and you're too busy being an elitist to figure it out. That's the point. This mainstream media ecosystem alternative, it was built because there was a demand in the population. People aren't going to watch something if they don't have an interest in it. Hello, MSNBC. That's the point. But these guys cannot figure it out. Now, they are saying they got a butts kick because the proof is in the pudding. White House, Senate, House, popular vote. Yeah, that's true. But they're not figuring it out yet. Let's keep going. Hey, guys, let me hear you in the comments on this one.
A religious fervor in a political movement around him. And his best buddy is the richest person in the history of the world. And the most relevant Kennedy is with him. This dude is a phenomenon. He is the most powerful human on earth and in our lifetime, and we're still saying, well, how was this guy? We look like idiots to ordinary people.
You're totally right.
We look like idiots. You're totally right. They still don't understand. And now I'm going to jump over to something that supplements this point. Look at what's happening to their media infrastructure. Right here, CNN's ratings collapse continues as viewership plummets to all-time lows among key demos. That key demo is the younger bracket, okay? So when you're looking at what they just said, when they can't figure out how Donald Trump beat them, the reason that Donald Trump was able to beat them was because there was a demand for that was unidentified until Trump walked in the door down some golden escalators. That's the point. Then they went after him with every bit of lawfare, which comes to the next point of this. Guys, the reason that they do not know what to do is because these guys right here, they just had their most brutal weapon on the planet neutered, completely defanged, gone. Cancel culture is dead. They tried to destroy this channel. I've been demonetized 3 times. They've tried to destroy Donald Trump by multiple lawsuits and felonies that were just made up out of whole cloth out of nowhere. Billions upon hundreds of billions of dollars in fines. They went to parent-teacher meetings where parents were expressing frustration that inappropriate materials were in a school setting, and they sent FBI after them. They had multiple years and decades of pummeling us, calling us every name under the book, and doing cancel culture to get you fired if you didn't get one of these bad boys. Guys, it's defanged. It's dead. You are on the cusp of going in the other direction. The next generation behind me, the 29s, the 19s, that younger generation, those guys and those young ladies are skewing much more conservative than left. That's a seismic shift 10 years from now. And the census is about to go away from Democrats in blue bastion states and supplement red states. They're going to make it's going to be even harder for House representation and electoral college capture in the presidential. Guys, I'm telling you, I've said for 2 and 3 years we're going to win this fight just by staying up, grinding and grinding and grinding. You're watching them react. All of their apparatus of which they pummel people, CNN, gone. MSNBC, being sold off. Social media has replaced all the existing media, and they're sitting here saying that Donald Trump's the smartest person in the world because an ecosystem has been built. I would offer you a simple solution. You guys are the simplest, or excuse me, the smartest people in the world. It's a simple solution. You created the demand. You got tired of being bullied. You got tired of being lied to and your trust squandered by the media. Everything that they're discussing is not about the end result of one man walking in and filling that void. What they're discussing is their own destruction of trust in the population and horrible ideas on top of that and infringing on their rights. And it all came to a head with a man named Donald J. Trump. That's what they don't understand. They do understand they got their butts kicked and handed to them, but they don't understand why yet. I'm going to jump into the chat really quickly because yeah, the attempts on his life, Fat Gray Man, that's right. And they consistently did this stuff. Let them stay confused going right into the midterms. I completely agree. It's called a movement. It is absolutely a movement, William, 100%. But it's a movement in resistance to what was being forced down our throats, which happens to have a leadership void, which Donald Trump filled. That's the difference. It's not Donald Trump came in and said, let's go to the right. The population said, bump this noise, we're moving over here. And Donald Trump said, yeah, that does look like a good direction. Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, all of them. That's what happened. All right, let me jump over here some more. Thanks for the video. I appreciate it. Brandon Herrera for ATF director. Okay. As of right now, they are losing. James, I would argue that they've been losing for probably about 2.5, 3 years. But yes, it's accelerating quickly. Wait until we get the new inauguration. Wait until we get the new executive positions. Wait until we get the new legislative body. It's going to be a thing. Lee Darby, the problem is they lied so much they started believing it. 100%. It started with the Tea Party movement. Chuck, that's an interesting point. I could definitely see that it did start with a Tea Party movement where people started getting irritated and it started boiling over. It kind of pittered out. It didn't happen. It didn't have the staying power, or enough people weren't awake yet. But I do believe that it had the roots in that population. I would agree. It's an awakening. Brian, excellent point. That's exactly correct. It is an awakening. When they are trying to take our gun rights, when they are trying to circumvent every lever of power that they've lost power of, or control of rather, that's when it became a power structure and it became very obvious. They had to destroy Donald Trump, therefore they made him more powerful. They had to destroy you, the population, and your rights, therefore you made us more popular or powerful. Guys, this is a bigger thing. This is a really important thing to understand. You are right on the cusp where if you were to think about this in a visual, you have been holding the line like the Spartans in the 300, and you've had your shields right here, side to side, and now the energy and momentum has stopped, and it's about to be pushed backwards. You are in a position where you will tell your children and their next offspring that you left something stronger for them after you held the line so they still had those rights. I'm telling you, they're starting to see it. You guys are in a pivotal point in history. It really is remarkable where we're all at. Wait for the China tariffs. Yeah. More red wave for the West Coast? Maybe. Smash the like button, please. I would love for you to smash the like button. That does help tremendously. Talking about a little Biden right there. Corey says term limits. I mean, in light of everything going on, I'll make a video about this still, but I would agree it's a situation. Hey, where's that GOP rep we can't find? Did you check the dementia nursing home? Yeah, that happened. We covered that. Oh, man, let's see. We're still winning in our Second Amendment rights. Yes, we are still winning, Jason. That is absolutely correct. We are locking shields and building the wall they can't cross. Correct. That's absolutely correct. They got high on their own supply. Mike, it has been a wacky ride, plastic. But Mike, that is the best way to wrap this at all. Like, they got high on their own supply. They started believing in their own legend. And the second you start believing in your own legend and how important you are, and it could never happen because of all these reasons, is the second that it happens. That's the second it fails. They are failing. Freedom is ringing. In a couple of weeks now, we're going to have a whole lot of people in a very, very important amount of positions that are going to start rolling back this monster, particularly in gun control. And I will cover every bit of it right here. Brandon, can we be friends? Jason, we can be internet YouTube friends for sure. But that's what I've got for you guys. I just wanted to show you that message. I thought it was interesting. It kind of struck me. Let me know if I landed that plane in the comments. Send this one out if you thought it was good, and I will see you guys on the next one. All right? Later.